Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 4 preview. We're going to be going through just, going through the trades, going through the team selection and whatnot. There's one big decision to make still. So as you can see, I've used one trade and I've swung Connor Watson up to my second or backup dummy half. And Jacob Little, I traded out for Josh Schuster. Couple of reasons. Now, I think Jacob Little, he was about a tick under 300k. Obviously earned a little bit of money, got me some nice points, but and he's definitely, if you have to keep Little or if you are keeping Little, it's definitely not a bad thing. I definitely think there's more cash to be made and decent points to be had with Little, but it's sort of like Schuster. He's not necessarily a must-have because when Curtis Sirenen comes back and their forwards do return, Schuster may find himself on the bench as a utility. I sort of doubt it. I think he will have done enough to either stay in the back row or Kieran Foran will get dropped and he'll go to his primary 5'8" position. But regardless, even if he does get dropped, he's still got at least 4 weeks with Curtis Sirenen still being out for 4 weeks. So Schuster's going to make a lot more cash a lot quicker than Little, and he's going to, in my opinion, score better than Little. I still think, Little, his minutes have been going down, the points have been dropping. I still think he's good for like 40, 50 points, and, if he gets an attacking stat, then that goes up to 60, 70. But Schuster, playing in the back row, obviously he scored 90 on the weekend. He's not going to score 90 every week, but if he has good base, has the odd attacking stat, like he's gonna make some good money and score some nice points. So he was sort of a must-have, and now I've got 348k to spend, dude. I'm rich. I'm loaded. And there's a couple of things. So bolstering the front row is tempting. Bolstering the second row is probably more tempting. And then Moses, going Moses to Cleary. I can actually trade Moses straight for Nathan Cleary. But I'm sort of, I don't know, it's annoying. I've got to see if the mail is Moses is going to play. It seems like he has been named, and there hasn't really been talk about him not playing. So I think I'm going to stick with Moses because, at the end of the day, I was sort of treating Moses as that gamble. Obviously, I got unlucky on the weekend. He got concussed very early on in the game, so you can't really factor that in. And my plan originally was I'll keep him up until the Origin period. He obviously won't play Origin, you would assume. And then when the Origin period is finished, hopefully he's got some decent points. Hopefully his price isn't too bad, and I can then swing him up to Nathan Cleary for the run home. That was sort of the plan. And in the meantime, I would use that cash elsewhere to bolster the team. So I'm sort of like, well, if he's going to be backing up, then what's the point in trading him out just because of that one unlucky week? Nathan Cleary didn't play last week either, so at the end of the day, it hasn't killed me, but there's still the temptation. For sure. The back line, I'm pretty happy with the back line. Cable, Ferguson, Niu, and Laurie. The backups, I'm not very happy with. James Roberts, Fussatua, and Simonson really haven't done a whole lot, and I could definitely trade one of these guys for a gun, and I'm probably leaning towards getting rid of Fussatua because just the points are never going to be there for Fussatua. I feel like he's going to score the odd try, but if we look here, I've got 593,000, so I can get pretty much anyone I want. Now, I'm tempted by Zarko, although I never like to get someone that's just got a ton, and the Broncos, they do have a really tough month of footy. They verse I know they're versus Melbourne this week. I'm pretty sure they come up against Panthers potentially, Roosters, Rabbits. I think it's something like that. It's a really tough month of footy. So I'm probably going to steer clear of the Zarko, but yeah, he's going really well. I'm disappointed I didn't go with my gut and start with the Zarko for round 1, but you know, you win some, you lose some. A lot of people are jumping on a Zarko. I think it's a little bit of a trap. I still think he can score well. Like, having a fullback in the centre wing is always nice, but it's always a little risky. Xavier Coates, like, I'm looking at the top here. Obviously, Brett Morris, he's way too expensive. And I would never spend the money on Morris. Like, it's just 12% of people have him. I think a lot of people jumped on last week, so they might be kicking themselves a little bit because I don't know. I think the points could dry up for the Roosters. Xavier Coates, I wouldn't go near. Jordan Rapiner, he's gone alright. He's definitely come back to some of his best, but yeah, I don't know. Not that sold. Corey Thompson, not that keen on. Obviously, I have Capel, Brian To'o. He's been good, but I don't know. I've been a little bit disappointed with To'o. He scored 57. I'm pretty sure he scored a try, didn't he? Like, his points have been a little bit down. Zach Lomax, he obviously got that 92. He played very, very well, but a little bit expensive. Tyron Peachey is probably the one guy here that I'm a little keen on. He's now, like, yeah, he's gone into the starting lock position with Tino starting the front row. The only issue is that Tyrone is he's a guy that he'll have like 3 or 4 weeks of scoring really well, getting decent minutes, and then he'll have a terrible game. Like, he'll miss tackles, he'll drop the footy, and then he can easily get dropped back to the bench or out of the team altogether. So Tyron Peachey, I like a lot because, I mean, again, having a centre wing playing in the forwards is just safe, and Peachey has that upside. So I'm tempted. I'm definitely tempted with Peachey for sure. And then anyone else, I mean, there's definitely good options, but I don't know. I've never really been one to spend big money on the centre wing unless it's like a forward of yesteryear, your Simon Mennerings, Tohu Harris years ago, those type of guys, if you could pick them up for the premiums. But other than, like, getting like a Joseph Manu, Dane Gagai has been killing it, but again, someone cheaper can score just as well as these guys, so it's always a risk, it's always a risk, and it's like, do you want to spend the money? Because, testing you, 240k, he scored 90 last week, and, you got 2 weeks ago, obviously got to try and look really good. This week, 39, still pretty solid, but, David Nofaluma started the year only like 40s, 50s, got an 80. So, yeah, that's always the risk with the centre wing, and I'm always a little bit dubious about that. So I don't know. I might just keep it as it is for now, but I'm not a fan of these three, so I wouldn't mind upgrading or potentially downgrading to one of these guys, but maybe we'll take hopefully a little bit of cash increase for some of them. The 5'8's obviously happy with, like I said, the halfbacks. Moses, we could get Cleary. That's up for debate. The back row, so more dramas. Mitch Barnett, as you can see, I've got on the reserves for now. He is, I don't know what the chances are, but he's obviously a little bit unlikely to play this week because of the calf strain. I think I don't know, I haven't heard the latest news, but I think he might be actually ruled out for this game, which would be bad. I've definitely got the cover. Obviously, I've just got Jordan Ricky starting, but I'm like, I wouldn't mind getting rid of Tyrell Fuimaono. Like, he's been sensational in real life, and he's scoring okay. I mean, he's averaged 43, which for a cheap play, that's solid, but I could get rid of Fuimaono for pretty much anyone again. So we'll go through the options. Dave Fafita. Obviously Fafita is very tempting, but again, Gold Coast, they have some weaker teams, and they're coming up against the Raiders, who, in the past, their defense has been pretty solid. And I think they're versing some better teams coming up. So for feeder, I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little bit, not concerned, but I'm just not sold, I guess. Pengai Jr., I just can't go Pengai. I actually can't afford him anyway, but he's going back to the bench with Lodge and Haas starting, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I mean, he's only been playing like 40 minutes at most anyway. Like his minutes have been down, but he's just been absolutely killing it with offloads and just work rate. So Pengai, I still think will score well on the bench, but it's always, I don't know, just the risk of that. We obviously have Tohu, which I was very happy with last week. Viliami Kickout, again, like he's sort of just a worse Pengai, in my opinion. He obviously has the upside, but I think his consistent scores are always a bit lower. If he doesn't score a try, he just doesn't score that well. Tyson Frizzell has been in like sensational form. Adam Elliott actually is a guy that I'm actually pretty tempted to go Elliott, which is crazy. He'd be my first Bulldogs player, which would be nice. It's always good to have sort of a mix from every team. Obviously, no Origin, which is good. So Adam Elliott, I mean, his work rate has been up. He's playing 80 minutes. He has the odd offload. Like I'm tempted by Elliott, in all honesty. And then anyone else, I'm not that keen on. Cecily Tupanua. I was gonna go last week. I'm very happy I didn't, because obviously 50 is fine, but without Kiri now, without Lachlan Lamb, like the edge back rowers are gonna suffer a bit at the Roosters, especially Tupanua. Just not been able to. I mean, who knows? I mean, Sam Walker might come out and absolutely kill it and send these big boys over. But Tupanua, I'd probably stay away from. Isaiah Yeo hasn't really been amazing this year. Ryan Sutton, 113 on the weekend, played huge minutes. He's obviously, I think he's starting in the back row this week, but I wouldn't be going near him. Jai Arrow is tempting for sure. But other than that, there's not, honestly, no one else is really grabbing me. Cameron Murray has been a bit lackluster, so he's dropping in price. Fisher Harris also has been lackluster for the Panthers. I was going to go Fisher Harris at the start of the year. I'm very glad I didn't go there. But yeah, out of all the back rows, it's probably Adam Elliott who was sort of got my interest the most. And then other than that, I've been tempted to maybe get rid of Tino. So if we, I could get, so the big one, obviously there's some good options here. Nrl Blake has been pretty solid. Campbell Gillard killed it last week. Fodawaker killed it. Takiaho has been in great form. But the guy, if I was going to upgrade, I could go the big man in Payne Haas, who is a bit underpriced for what he can do. And obviously, no one really has him because, he didn't play the first 4 weeks, or 3 weeks. So Payne Haas, but I'm a little bit hesitant just because, he's not going to be playing as many minutes as he has. Pengai's on the bench, Asiata's on the bench. Like they have a good forward pack, and I'm like, I don't know. I would just like to see how Payne Haas sort of goes. And he's definitely going to play Origin as well. So I'm sort of a bit like, I'd rather get someone who's not going to play Origin. It just sets you up nicely. So yeah, Nrl Blake, I guess, is tempting, but I'm probably just going to stick with Tino. I'm pretty happy with him. Like, he hasn't really had any attacking stats, and I think that'll eventually come. So, yeah, some decisions to make. I'm not sure. I'm happy with the team, honestly. So it sort of comes down to maybe Moses for Cleary, but I'm probably just going to stick with Moses. I'm just going to ride it out. Honestly, dude, if they just ruled him out, early in the week and said he wasn't playing this week, it would be such an easy decision for me. But I'm probably going to stick with him. The centre wing, I may upgrade Fusatua to a better option. Potentially Tyron Peachey, definitely keen on. So I forgot. Probably Peachey is definitely high tier for me, and then potentially Fuma Ono for Adam Elliott, or if there's another second rower that I come across. But that's how the team's looking. Captain, I'm just gonna go with Tedesco again. Honestly, I just I know I think a few people are actually getting rid of Tedesco, which is crazy. With obviously the injuries, and probably a lot of people aren't going to put the captaincy on him, and he may not score nearly as well without his boys there, but I mean he's still gonna get the base, and he's gonna be that main attacking point. So I don't know, I'm probably just gonna stick with Tedesco, dude. Like if you ride the whole year, you're probably going to end up on top overall. Like you'd take the odd 50 game and supplement it with the odd 100 game. So probably just going to stick with James Tedesco. Obviously, Pappenhausen is a very tempting option. Honestly, dude, oh man, I know I just spieled about keeping it on Tedesco. I'm probably going to go with Pappenhausen because I sort of forgot that he goal kicks. Obviously, Munster kicked last week while he was out, but Pappenhausen been kicking goals. They're taking on the Broncos at Amy Park. They've come off 2 losses. Like, I don't know. Pappenhausen could be in for a big, big score. So, you know what? I know I just said just keep it on Tedesco. I think I'm going to go with Pappenhausen. So then, and this is also good for me as well, because then I've got 2 horses in the race, right? Obviously, if the Broncos do well and win, then I'm going to be very happy. But if the Broncos get smoked and Pappenhausen kicks 10 goals, then also I'll be somewhat happy. Disappointed, but also happy with the score. So it's sort of a 50-50 odds there. But yeah, that's the round 4 preview. I've got one decision to make, one big decision, but also not gonna, it's not gonna cost me the year. But I'll work it out. I'll work it out tomorrow, and hopefully we have another good week. I've been seeing people have been posting their scores, dude. People have been in our community. There's a lot of high up rankings, which is good to see. It's good to see our community of boys doing great work in Supercoach. So keep it up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.